Sloppy early, but then you guys went on a couple of runs, kind of spurred by defense and stretched it out. What changed, I guess, to kind of blow that thing
I
along?
thought the intensity on defense early, especially when Jamal Crook got in the game, I thought he set a really good tone. He came in, he got 2 deflections right away, started a fast break. I thought he did a good job really energizing the team. I thought everybody fed off it, got aggressive. Snap Peters started getting to the passing lanes. All of a sudden Juan's up there, Pet's up there, and then we can do that at times with different lineups and really be aggressive. So I was happy with the spark.
We saw some of the exhibitions, but for these first 2 regular season games, you guys have really dominated an opponent athletically and used that kind of to a huge advantage. I mean, if you can corral that and kind of harness it, how dangerous can this group be with
Well,
that?
I think that's the right terminology, because when we're really good with our athleticism, you can see how explosive it can be. But we can also take too many chances with our athleticism, thinking that you're going to be able to go and get steals. And that's when you see us a little sloppy. You'll see someone go for a steal, and then all of a sudden it's a 5-on-4 situation. Or you'll see us, get into the lane, be sloppy with the ball, and think we're going to throw an alley-oop to, teams play and stay in plays. And as we get better and as we mature as a team, we'll hopefully get that completely under control as a team, just how to use our athleticism.
Did you feel like early and maybe the last 10 minutes or so, we saw a little bit of that where maybe you guys were trying to force some stuff to happen, and when it didn't, they were able to, make something out of nothing a little bit?
In terms of making things happen?
In terms of maybe taking some chances, especially late when they clearly wanted to slow it down and just kind of get the game over with and get out of here. Looked like you guys kind of got maybe a little restless.
Yeah, a little bit. I think to start the second half, we were a little sloppy, and that's why I substituted the 5 guys, and I thought that team coming in actually did a good job being solid and making some things happen. At times we're going to go through those ruts. That's part of a team developing and growing together. But overall, the quickness and the speed, I thought we managed it pretty well. We tried to mix up a lot of defenses tonight. I tried to see how they were focusing and see if they were listening. And we made some mistakes because of that at times. At times you saw some good stuff. So we'll continue to get better.
Coach, how much of the barrage of fouls was just you guys being aggressive, or was that maybe within that sloppy play coming out?
You have to get with the John Adams lead of officials for the entire country. We were aggressive. We have a lot of driving, slashing type players from the point all the way to our 5, which is really not a traditional 4 and 5. Pet and Juan and Cliff, those guys can handle the ball a little bit and do things that puts pressure on the other team's defense, and that's got to be a big strength of ours. Kent Brown and Jamal can really push the ball, so you see they can, get down there and get fouled in a hurry. So it's got to be a good strength for us, and we have to understand now. We get to the line, we've got to take care of business. I mean, I think I've only been in one other game with 50 free throws shot. I was an assistant at Clemson, and we were at Carolina on the bad end of that, and we ended up playing with 4 players. And it's good to be on this side of it, to be honest. So we're aggressive. Just got to finish our free throws.
And do you feel like you guys that'll take care of itself, or is that get in and something you feel like that you have to work on?
I think it will. I do think we have to work on our free throws more. There are some things that we're not doing, staying on the free throw line. Everybody at times was backing up after their free throw, not following through, and that's something you can correct. You don't want to get too mental with it, but I do think some reps and some confidence making shots, and as you continue to do that in basketball games and gain some confidence, I think we'll get better. I really do.
High number of fouls. It seems like there's been a lot of that early this year. Do you feel like early in years it takes teams and even officials a little while to get used to maybe new points of emphasis?
I do. I think early in games, coach, refs are trying to establish a little bit, and I think that's part of it. We have to adjust to the officiating. In different games, we go down to Puerto Rico. I bet you there are more physical games, less fouls called, in my opinion, because I think there's a lot of big-time teams there that are used to a little more physical player, a little bigger guy, that kind of thing. So we have to be able to handle that as well.
I mentioned these guys earlier, but after the first 2 games, Juan and Stephon have really kind of controlled things inside for you guys, and they're not natural bodies, I guess, down there. How well do those guys play together, and how much do you like having them on the floor at the same time together, kind of feeding each
I
other?
love it. I think they're different types of players. I think they've learned to really play together. I think there's already a chemistry with those two guys. I think they're both very hard-nosed in terms of not wanting to be scored on. So I think there's a lot of pride defensively for both of those guys. And they both are quick. They're both strong. But in the same sense, even though they're undersized, they're different players. They are different players. Juan is just a quicker guy that can recover and really help on defense because he's so quick. Pet's just a kind of a natural textbook guy. He just listens to exactly what we're talking about. Technique, form, he's going to have all that on the defensive side. His position is very rarely out. I think he had probably 2 charges tonight, maybe 3. And he's always going to give you that solid guy that bails you out at the end. Very, very similar to Jeremy last year, except Jeremy with block shots. He gets those charges.
It's 2 games now. You said you like the dynamic of Jamal off the bench. I guess just talk about the balance of him and Ken playing together and how that competition is feeding off each other.
Well, they're both learning still. Jamal, even though he's been in the system a year, he's only a sophomore. He's getting better. He is bringing it defensively a little bit more. He's running the team a little bit. He had one mental error at the end where he kind of dribbled out of bounds, and that, those are the ones that I want him to correct. Ken Brown, early in his career here is obviously a talent. You see some of the things he can do, but he'll make some mistakes as well. They're both still fighting for minutes. They're both, and on any given day, they very well could each play equal minutes, and I like that because they're both quality players. Who plays more? I'm not that concerned with that right now. I just want them to both be, both understand that they have to continue to get better, not only with their own game, but running the team. We had a lot of mistakes tonight where I would call a defense to one of the guards, and we all would not be in the same defense. So you saw some breakdowns because of communication. That's on the point guards. Same thing on the offensive end. I call a play. I want them to run the play. I want all 5 guys to know what we're running. That's up to the point guards. So they'll continue to grow. I think they're doing a good job.
How important is this trip for you guys? Really, it's some high competition, obviously, but from a building and going forward point, how important are these trips?
I think it's great. The first 2 games have played out in our favor where they weren't close toward the end. I think the next 3 are going to be high execution type games. You have to understand that they're going to be 1, 2, 3 possession games, and we're going to have to execute each possession we have. We can't just afford to throw the ball away 16, 18 times. We've had some careless turnovers that we got to cut down. We can't beat ourselves. We got to understand that we still have to get the rebounding under control. Tonight, we won the rebounding battle, but I feel like we should have a bigger margin. And teams like this are going to make you pay for that. They're going to really exploit some of your weaknesses, and we want to stay away from that. So, high level of focus and preparation, understanding these next few games are going to be really tight.
You talked so much last year about making statements in situations like this. You guys worry about that at all this time around? Doesn't seem like as much.
I don't know if I worry about it. I think each game is an opportunity. Regardless of who you're playing in this tournament, you're playing a national program. And that's a great position to be in. Now, you want to go down there and you want to represent yourselves well. You don't want to come back after a game and say, hey, well, we put 30 minutes together. I wish we could have put 40. And understand, even if we go in and hit a speed bump, you're going to have to finish games up. You're going to have to get on to the next game. You've got 3 games in 4 days. So a lot of good things can happen if we continue to improve, push each other, be hungry. I think we're going to be fine.
How do you guys approach it? Do you only talk about Minnesota at this point, or do you approach it from the same? Pat and Juan both brought up the idea of trying to go down and win it. I know last year for the NIT, it was kind of New York or bust, so to speak, and you guys were disappointed with not getting there. Do you approach it the same way in terms of the big picture, or do you just focus on Minnesota?
Well, just like the coaching staff, we want to go down and win the tournament. There's no question. I think the players, you want the kind of guys that have the attitude and the swagger, and I talked about that on the road at St. Joe's. You want that type of attitude that you feel like you belong there and you can take the thing. That's a good thing. Now, obviously, we're going to talk about Minnesota. That's it. That's the only focus. And the guys, even though they're saying, win the whole thing, they know how tough a game Minnesota's going to be. It's going to be a heck of a game. I think Coach Smith obviously does a great job everywhere he's been. He's been there a while. He's got his system in place. Recruiting's going well. This is going to be their best team. And we're going into the game understanding that. And the players and the coaching staff understand. We got 40 minutes. That's all we got. We don't even know the next matchup until we take care of the first game. So, exciting opportunities on every night.
Obviously, you've said before you like close games. I think you'd probably rather win in a blowout, but given the competition, you're probably going to find yourself in a close game. How interested are you to see how this team, the way they play, responds in a game?
I think it's great. It's going to tell us a lot about ourselves. Like I said, I think no matter what happens, you got an opportunity to improve and learn from what you've done. You go down there and you represent yourself well, and you're in a close game, but don't pull it off. A lot of points we could point to and say, hey, we could have had this game. You go down and win, we still have a lot of improving to do and prepare for the next game. So, as a coach, this is going to be a higher level game right now, and I'm excited about that. And to see how, once again, 7 new faces react to it. We've had different situations right now, road game, a home game. Now we're going down to a big-time environment, big-time tournament. I mean, last time I was there as an assistant at Clemson, we played in a high school gym. They've got a big stadium now. It'll be great. It'll be a great experience for the guys.
You've been a part of teams that have prepared for Tubby before. Is there anything in particular that is emblematic of a Tubby Smith coach team that's particularly difficult to get ready for?
I think execution, because they defend. The identity of Coach Smith's teams is they defend, they rebound, they're physical, they're tough teams. And whether it's going to be an up and down game or a half court game, I don't know. But I do know this: he coaches defense hard, he coaches execution hard, he coaches hard. Those guys play hard. So we're going to have to match that and try to take it to another level, understanding that. Once again, we're not going to be, out toughed and out physical and out rebounded. We can't do that and expect to win. So that'll be an important part of the game plan.
Anything else for Coach?